I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me for Chronicles in Collecting, where we're going to open the Mondo X-Men the Animated Series Wolverine Limited Edition San Diego Comic-Con variant. X-Men the Animated Series was a 76-episode animated TV show that ran from October 1992 through September 1997. This figure came out in February 2022, cost $200, and was a limited edition of 3,250. It's clobbering time! I think that's the wrong slogan. So last week we opened up the kind of brown Wolverine costume version of this guy, and I was pretty lukewarm on it. I mean, I don't think it was a bad figure, but it was a little underwhelming, for the price and the weight. I don't expect this figure to be all that much different, considering that it's basically just the same thing in different colors, but I do love the presentation. And I do compliment Mondo for trying something different with the packaging and sort of making things a little bit more interesting than just sort of the same box that we see over and over again. All right, so getting that out of the package was really something. I mean, it's a really cool looking diorama, but it's mostly inside it's all cardboard, and there's just like tons of tape and twist ties everywhere, and just trying to like get the figure out without actually like destroying the diorama was not fun. But I'll quickly take a look at this here, and I'll put it on the rotating stand in a second. It's almost like I did this video in reverse. Like it came posed, and then I had to do the unboxing after that. So you get basic stand, same thing we saw with the Wolverine last week. No X-Men logo, no Wolverine logo, piece of bubble wrap. And then, because of this diorama, all the accessories are just sort of thrown in there. But it's kind of just the same stuff we saw last week. So we got the Wolverine, we got the and then the accessories are basically what we saw the other day. There's kind of like the angry face, there's the turkey leg, there's the morph face, there's the kind of smirking face without his mask, there's a variety of clawed and unclawed hands, and there's sort of like a neutral face. And then I believe that since this is the exclusive version, and supposedly there's a regular version of this figure coming out, it has like the sad face and this pillow. Let's get this guy on the rotating stand, and I'll give some final thoughts, and then we can compare him to the brown variant from last week. So yeah, I mean, I like what they did with this. I like the idea of the diorama. I wish they had executed a little bit nicer and kind of made something that was, made out of like hard plastic and not cardboard, and not something that I felt like was going to break at any moment or get ripped from all the tape that was on it. Especially, at this, they could have made it a little bit more expensive. I mean, this was a limited edition of like 3,000. It sold out in like, a few hours anyway. So I'm sure that they probably could have sold it, for $25 or $30 or however much more they would have needed to make the diorama a little better. Compared to the other Wolverine, I think this is kind of funny. I like that this is not like my favorite scene from X-Men the Animated Series. I would have much rather preferred a action scene, but this is kind of funny. I think it's just something that's so unique, especially for, like a tough guy like Wolverine, and obviously that's kind of the joke. So I think that if of the two versions, I would prefer this one, but only because of this funny pose you could put him in. When they make the regular edition that, just comes in the regular packaging, doesn't have, the sad face and the diorama, I'd probably have similar thoughts as to the brown variant Wolverine. So yeah, so just kind of hold this up next to the brown one, kind of do a little bit of comparison here, but pretty much the same. Obviously the color is different. You got a little slightly different details, on the uniform, on both the front and the back. You have those sharp lines versus the smooth lines there, but otherwise it's mostly just a color swap, which is fine. I don't know when the regular version of this is going to be coming out. At some point, that was one of my big complaints that I kind of talked about in last week's video. I just felt like with the Mondo animated series, both Batman and X-Men, it's just a lot of sort of unknowns. Like, are they ever going to make another figure in this line? Maybe. I mean, the packaging for this one shows a number 1, but will there ever be a number 2? Who knows? Batman the Animated Series, they showed like prototypes of like 4 or 5 figures, or at least renders of like 4 or 5 figures when it first came out, and like 2 or 3 of them haven't come out yet. The Joker, they showed an actual prototype like 2 years ago, and it's been radio silent since then. So, I would not get into this line thinking that you're necessarily going to have all the X-Men from the animated series, which is what I hope, but who knows. Anyway, thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd appreciate a like or subscribe, and if you didn't, tell me about it in the comments. If there's anything else you want to see figure-wise, either about these figures or something else, just tell me about it, and I'll see what I could do. I do figure reviews every Wednesday, and that's typically stuff that's come out, within the last few weeks or month or two. And then on Fridays, I typically do more older figures, could be anywhere between the last like 2 to 10 years. Probably throw these Mondo ones on Friday just because they're not as popular as some of the other videos that I do. But please join me for next Wednesday's episode, where we are going to take a look at the VF-31J Siegfried from the new Macross Delta movie. Thanks so much, and keep collecting.